Commander Alex Winters stood on the bridge of the USS Stargazer, staring at the endless sea of stars through the main viewport. The exploration vessel glided silently through the outer reaches of the Capella system, far from the bustle of Earth's colonies and trade routes. It was their third week of routine patrol and mapping duty, not exactly the exciting mission Alex had hoped for when he joined the United Earth Fleet 15 years ago. "Commander, I'm picking up some unusual energy readings," said Lieutenant Susan Garcia, her eyes fixed on her science station display. The young officer's brow furrowed as she adjusted several settings. "It's coming from that uncharted asteroid field ahead." Alex walked over to her station. "Unusual how?" Susan shook her head slightly. "I can't be sure. At first I thought it was just background radiation, but there's a pattern to it. Almost like a pulse." "Natural phenomenon?" asked Alex. "I don't think so, sir." Susan looked up from her screen. "The energy signature contains elements similar to our own technology, but much more advanced." Alex straightened up, suddenly alert. "Bring us closer but maintain distance protocols. Could be an unregistered mining operation." "Yes, sir," replied the helmsman, Officer Ben Clark, as he adjusted their course. As the Stargazer approached the asteroid field, the readings grew stronger. The field itself wasn't remarkable, just hundreds of rocky bodies drifting in the emptiness of space. But the largest asteroid, a misshapen rock about 3 kilometers across, was definitely the source of the energy signature. "I'm getting clearer." "Readings now?" Susan said, her voice rising with excitement. "Sir, you need to see this." She transferred the data to the main screen. The entire bridge crew stared at the display. The energy signature was undeniably artificial, but what caught everyone's attention was the analysis at the bottom of the screen. "That can't be right," said Alex, leaning forward. "Run it again." Susan's fingers flew over her console. "I've run it 3 times, sir. The dating system is functioning correctly. Whatever's generating that energy has been there for approximately 15,000 years." A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Humanity had only achieved faster-than-light travel. Less than 200 years ago, even the oldest human ruins on Earth barely dated back 10,000 years. "Are you saying we're detecting 15,000-year-old technology?" asked Chief Engineer Jack Miller, who had just arrived on the bridge. "That's impossible. Nothing would still be functioning after that long." "Let's find out," said Alex, making a decision. "Prepare a landing party. Susan, you're with me. Jack, I want you along too. We'll need your expertise if this is some kind of technology." 90 minutes later, Alex, Susan, and Jack stood on the surface of the asteroid in their environmental suits. The surface was like any other asteroid, dark, dusty, and pockmarked with small craters, but their equipment led them to a specific spot where the readings were strongest. "The energy source is about 30 meters below us," said Susan, checking her handheld scanner. "But I'm not seeing any entrance." Jack walked in a small circle, his boots leaving prints in the fine dust. He stopped suddenly and knelt down. "Wait, look at this." He brushed away some of the dust, revealing a smooth, metallic surface underneath. Alex and Susan joined him. Together they cleared more dust, revealing what appeared to be a large circular plate made of an unknown metal. "This is definitely artificial," said Jack, running a gloved hand over the surface. "And it's made of a material I've never seen before." Susan pointed her scanner at it. "The energy readings are coming from directly below this. I think it might be a door." As if responding to her words, the circular plate suddenly illuminated with soft blue light. Strange symbols appeared around its edge, symbols that none of them recognized at first. "It's reacting to our presence," Jack whispered. Susan gasped as she looked more closely at the symbols. "Commander, these look like an ancient form of human writing, similar to Proto-Sanskrit or early Sumerian, but different." Before Alex could respond, the circular plate began to split open like a camera aperture, revealing a dark passage below. "It recognized us," said Alex in disbelief. "How could 15,000-year-old technology recognize humans?" With extreme caution, the 3 of them descended into the passage. Their suit lights illuminated a tunnel that seemed to have been carved directly into the asteroid. But as they went deeper, The tunnel became more refined, with smooth walls made of the same unknown metal as the door. The tunnel led them to an enormous chamber that took their breath away. As they entered, lights automatically activated, revealing a cavernous hangar larger than anything on the Stargazer. And inside this hangar were 5 massive ships, arranged in a perfect formation. "My God," breathed Alex, his voice barely a whisper in his helmet. "Those are warships." The vessels were sleek and powerful, with designs unlike anything in the United Earth Fleet. Yet despite their alien appearance, there was something unmistakably human about their construction. Jack walked toward the nearest ship in a trance-like state. The technology, it's centuries beyond anything we have, maybe millennia. Susan approached one of the ships and brushed dust from a panel near what appeared to be an entrance. More symbols appeared, and her translator program struggled to process them. "Commander," she called, her voice shaking. "I can partially translate. This. It says Retribution Fleet, Earth Defense Force." Alex felt his heart pounding in his chest. "Earth Defense Force? Are you saying these ships are human?" Susan nodded slowly. "According to these readings, yes. Human technology, 15,000 years old. Before any known human civilization capable of building even simple machines, let alone starships." As they stood there trying to process this impossible discovery, Alex approached the lead ship. When he placed his hand on its hull, a section of the metal simply dissolved away, creating an entrance. "It's responding to human DNA," Jack said in amazement. "It knows we're human." Inside the lead ship, they found a bridge unlike anything they had ever seen. There were control stations, but no visible interfaces, just smooth surfaces that lit up as they approached. As Alex sat in what appeared to be the command chair, the entire ship hummed to life around them. Holographic displays appeared in the air, showing star charts of a galaxy that looked both familiar and strange. "The ships are awakening," Susan said, as lights began to appear throughout the other vessels as well. "All of them." "But why were they here?" asked Jack. "Why would ancient humans build advanced warships and then hide them in an asteroid at the edge of the Capella system?" Alex stared at the star charts, seeing familiar stars in unfamiliar configurations. "I think the better question is, what were they fighting against, and is it still out there?" As if in answer, a message appeared in front of Alex in those same ancient symbols, slowly translating into modern English. "Retribution Fleet activated. Human DNA confirmed. Warning. Dravari containment protocol breached. Estimated time until EU. Dravari response 14 days. The 3 of them exchanged worried glances. They had just discovered humanity's greatest secret, and possibly awakened its greatest threat. 2 weeks passed since the discovery of the ancient ships. The United Earth government kept the find top secret, allowing only a small team of scientists and military personnel to study the vessels. Commander Alex Winters had been ordered to remain at the site, along with Susan Garcia and Jack Miller, who were now leading different research teams. Jack stood inside the engine room of the lead ship, surrounded by technology that made Earth's most advanced systems look primitive by comparison. "I still can't figure out how these power cores work," he said to the 2 engineers working with him. "They don't use any fuel we recognize, but they're still active after 15,000 years. Susan, meanwhile, was trying to decode more of the ship's database. The ancient language was slowly being translated by their computers, revealing fragments of a history that no one knew existed. "Commander," Susan called as Alex entered the bridge of the lead ship, "I found something interesting. These ships weren't just built for defense. According to these records, they were the last hope for humanity against something called the Dravari." "Any information on what the Dravari are?" asked Alex. Susan shook her head. "Not yet, but whatever they were, humanity was losing the war until these ships were built." Their conversation was interrupted by a call from the Stargazer. "Commander Winters, urgent message from Earth Command. Please return to the Stargazer immediately." When Alex returned to his ship, he found the communications officer looking pale. "Sir, Earth has made first contact with an alien species. They call themselves the Dravari. Alex felt his blood run cold. The name from the ancient warning was now a reality. Put it on screen. The main screen showed a recording from Earth. Tall, elegant beings with silvery skin and 4 arms stood beside human officials. Their leader, who introduced himself as Ambassador Kextol, spoke perfect English as he offered friendship and technology exchange. The Dravari wish to establish peaceful relations with humanity, said Earth's president in the recording. They have been observing us for some time and have decided we are ready for contact. A diplomatic meeting will be held next week to discuss a formal alliance. After the recording ended, Alex immediately called Earth Command. General, I need to speak with you urgently about the Dravari. General Laura Patel appeared on screen. Commander Winters, I assume this is about the ancient ships? Yes, General. The ships contain warnings about beings called the Dravari. We need to be careful with this first contact. The General nodded. We are proceeding with caution, but so far they've been nothing but helpful. They've already offered medical technology that could cure several diseases. Still, I want you and your team at the diplomatic meeting. Bring all the information you've gathered. 3 days later, Alex, Susan, and Jack stood in the grand hall of the Earth government headquarters in New Geneva. The room was filled with officials, scientists, and media representatives, all eager to meet the first confirmed alien species to contact Earth. Dr. William Harris, Earth's leading expert in xenoanthropology, was showing the Dravari delegates images of human history and achievements. When he reached a slide showing pictures of the ancient ships, Alex noticed something odd. The Dravari ambassador's posture changed slightly, and his 4 hands twitched in what might have been surprise or alarm. Susan, Alex whispered. Did you see that? Susan nodded. Their body language changed completely when they saw the ships. Jack, what do you think? Jack leaned closer. I think they recognized those ships, and they weren't happy to see them. The meeting continued smoothly, but Alex couldn't shake his unease. The Dravari asked many questions about Earth's history, especially ancient civilizations, but offered vague answers about their own past. That night, after the day's events had concluded, Alex met with Susan and Jack in a secure room. Something isn't right, said Alex. The Dravari are too interested in our ancient history, especially anything from around 15,000 years ago. I managed to translate more of the ship's database today, Susan said, opening her tablet. It mentions a great war that nearly destroyed humanity. The Dravari were described as world eaters, who appeared peaceful at first but were actually conquerors. Jack looked troubled. If these are the same Dravari, why would they come in peace now after trying to destroy us before? Their discussion was cut short when alarms began blaring throughout the building. Alex's communication device beeped urgently. Commander Winters, report to the command center immediately, came General Patel's voice. When they arrived at the command center, chaos reigned. Screens showed massive ships appearing in Earth's orbit, ships that weren't there before and didn't match the diplomatic vessel the Dravari had arrived in. What's happening? Alex asked a nearby officer. The Dravari delegates disappeared from their quarters an hour ago, the officer replied. Then these ships just appeared out of nowhere. They've disabled our satellite defenses without firing a shot. General Patel looked grim as she approached them. The Dravari ambassador just sent this message to all Earth nations simultaneously. The main screen showed Ambassador Kextol, but his formerly friendly expression was gone, replaced by cold determination. People of Earth, he said, our scans have detected that you have discovered the ancient fleet. You will surrender these weapons to us immediately, or we will be forced to take action. You have 12 hours to comply. What ancient fleet? Asked the Earth president who stood nearby. What is he talking about? Alex stepped forward. He means the ships we found, sir. Somehow, they knew we found them. Can these ancient ships help us? Asked the president. Before Alex could answer, alarms sounded again. On the screens, they watched in horror as a massive Dravari vessel fired upon Luna Colony. The moon's largest human settlement, home to over 10,000 people, vanished in a flash of light. They didn't even wait for our answer, whispered Susan, in shock. The Dravari ambassador appeared on screen again. That was a demonstration. We have no desire to destroy your species, but we will not allow the ancient fleet to be reactivated. Deliver the coordinates of the ships, and we will leave your planet in peace. General Patel turned to Alex. Commander, is there any chance those ships you found could be operational? Our entire fleet couldn't stand against even one of those Dravari vessels. Alex exchanged looks with Susan and Jack. The ships were powering up when we found them, General. With the right crew, they might be our only hope. Then you have 11 hours to get back there and figure out how to fly those ancient warships, said the general. Because if the Dravari are telling the truth, humanity faced this threat once before, and those ships were how we survived. As they rushed toward the shuttle bay, Jack said what they were all thinking. If those ships saved humanity 15,000 years ago, they must be powerful. No wonder the Dravari are afraid of them. But if we're right about this, Susan added, then humanity once had technology far beyond what we have now. What happened to us? Why did we lose all that knowledge? Alex had no answer as they boarded the fastest shuttle available. All he knew was that Earth's fate now depended on 5 ancient warships and whatever secrets they still held. The shuttle carrying Alex, Susan, and Jack raced through space faster than regulations allowed. Earth had already lost 3 defense stations to Dravari attacks. The United Earth Fleet fought bravely, but their weapons barely damaged the alien ships. We're approaching the asteroid field, said the pilot. ETA 5 minutes. Alex checked his tablet, which showed live updates from Earth. The president is trying to negotiate, but the Dravari won't budge. They want the ancient ships destroyed, or surrendered. They're scared of these ships, said Jack. That has to mean they're powerful enough to make a difference. When they reached the asteroid, they found the research team in a state of high alert. Everyone had heard about the Dravari attack on Luna Colony. What's our status? Alex asked as they rushed inside the main ship. The systems are coming online faster now, replied Dr. Ethan Powell, the lead scientist. It's like they know they're needed. Susan hurried to her research station. I've made progress with the database, but there's so much we still don't understand. Show me what you've got, said Alex. Susan brought up a holographic display. The ships were built at the end of a long war with the Dravari. According to these records, the Dravari arrived claiming to be peaceful explorers just like now. But they actually wanted Earth's resources and tried to conquer humanity when we refused to submit. History repeating itself, muttered Jack. There's more, said Susan. The war lasted for decades. Humanity was losing until they developed these 5 ships, which they called the Retribution Fleet. But even with these ships, the cost of victory was terrible. Most of human civilization was destroyed. Alex studied the information. But how do we operate them? We need pilots, weapons experts, engineers. I think I found something that might help, said Susan, leading them deeper into the ship. They entered a chamber they hadn't explored before, with a single chair in the center surrounded by strange equipment. What is this? Asked Jack, examining the technology. According to the database, it's a neural interface, said Susan. It was designed to transfer knowledge directly into a human mind. The ship's original captain used it to learn everything needed to command this vessel. Is it safe? Asked Alex. Susan hesitated. I don't know. The records suggest it was an emergency measure, used only when there was no time for traditional training. Jack studied the equipment. Even if it works, who would volunteer? The neural load could be enormous. I will, said a voice from the doorway. They turned to see Senior Officer Natalie Reeves, who had arrived with them on the shuttle. I have the highest neural plasticity rating in the fleet. If anyone can handle it, I can. Alex shook his head. Natalie, we don't know what this will do to you. We don't have a choice, she replied. Earth is under attack. Luna Colony is gone. We need these ships operational now. After a tense discussion, they agreed. With careful preparation, Natalie sat in the chair. Susan activated the interface based on her translations of the instructions. The room hummed with energy as the neural interface connected with Natalie. Her body went rigid, then relaxed. Her eyes moved rapidly behind closed lids as if she was dreaming. Minutes passed, then an hour. The others watched anxiously, monitoring her vital signs. Finally, Natalie's eyes opened. But she looked different somehow. Older, wiser, like someone who had seen centuries rather than her 32 years. "Natalie?" Alex said cautiously. "Are you okay?" She looked at him with clear recognition. "Yes, Commander, I'm fine." Her voice was steady but held a new authority. "And I know how to operate these ships now." "What did you see?" asked Susan. Natalie stood slowly, adjusting to the weight of new knowledge. "Everything. Our true history. Earth was once the center of a vast civilization that spanned hundreds of star systems. We weren't just on Earth. We had colonies throughout this region of the galaxy for thousands of years." The others listened in shock as she continued. "The Dravari came from another galaxy. They presented themselves as peaceful, but they're actually parasites. They find civilizations, infiltrate them, and then consume their resources, including the people." "What happened in the war?" asked Jack. "We fought for decades," said Natalie. "Regular weapons couldn't stop them. Then our scientists discovered a way to manipulate a fundamental force, something beyond our current understanding of physics. They built these 5 ships, each designed to use this force in different ways." "How did we win?" asked Alex. "The final battle nearly destroyed both species," said Natalie. "These ships turned the tide, but Earth's civilization was reduced to ruins. The survivors made a choice. They hid the remaining technology and erased the knowledge of our past. They wanted humanity to start fresh, without the burden of that terrible war." "But the Dravari survived too," said Susan. Natalie nodded. "Yes, they retreated to rebuild their forces. They've been watching Earth for 15,000 years, waiting for us to rediscover space travel. They're not here for revenge. They're here to finish what they started, to consume Earth like they always planned." "Can you teach us how to operate the ship?" asked Alex. "I can do better than that," said Natalie. "I can help you select the right people for each ship and use the neural interface to train them quickly, but we need to hurry." Over the next few hours, Natalie helped identify the best candidates from the research team and the Stargazer's crew. 5 more people underwent the neural interface process, each receiving the knowledge needed for their specific role. Alex watched as the ancient ships came fully alive under their touch. Corridors lit up, engines hummed, and weapon systems prepared for battle. "According to the latest update, Earth's defenses are failing," said Susan, checking her tablet. "The Dravari have destroyed our main fleet and are positioning for a final attack." Alex made his decision. "We can't wait any longer. Natalie, are the ships ready?" "As ready as they can be with skeleton crews," she replied. "The Vanguard is the flagship. You should command it, Alex. I'll take the Harbinger, Susan the Shadow, Jack the Guardian. We need one more captain for the Oracle." "Dr. Powell has the right skills," suggested Jack. "And he's already been through the interface." Alex nodded. Then it settled. "Prepare for launch. We need to reach Earth before it's too late." As they moved to their assigned ships, Susan asked the question they were all thinking. Can 5 ships, even these ancient ones, really defeat the entire Dravari fleet? Natalie's expression was grim but determined. "They did it once before. We have to believe they can do it again." The 5 ancient warships powered up, their engines glowing with energy unlike anything seen in modern human technology. As they broke free from the asteroid, they accelerated at speeds that should have been impossible. Heading toward Earth, they knew they were humanity's last hope. And somewhere ahead, the Dravari waited, unaware that their ancient nightmare was awakening once more. The 5 ancient warships raced toward Earth at impossible speeds. Inside the Vanguard, Alex sat in the command chair, surrounded by technology that seemed to respond to his thoughts as much as his touch. The neural interface had given him enough knowledge to pilot the ship, but he was still discovering new abilities with each passing hour. "Status report," he called to the small crew of 10 who operated the massive vessel. "All systems at full power," replied Officer Ben Clark, who had been chosen for his exceptional skills as a helmsman. "We're moving at speeds our instruments can't even measure properly." "The other ships are maintaining formation," added another crew member, Monitoring the tactical display, Alex opened a communication channel to the other 4 ships. "Captains, report in." Jack's face appeared first on the holographic display. "The Guardian is fully operational. I've been studying the defensive systems. This ship can project energy shields that could cover entire continents." Susan reported, next from the shadow. "Our stealth systems are unlike anything I've ever seen. We can bend light around us, become completely invisible to both eyes and sensors." "The Harbinger is ready," said Natalie. "We've activated the drone bay. This ship carries thousands of automated fighter craft, all controlled through a central system." Dr. Powell completed the check-in from the Oracle. "The predictive systems are online. We can see tactical possibilities seconds before they happen." "It's extraordinary." As they spoke, Earth came into view, and with it the Dravari fleet. Over 30 massive vessels surrounded the planet, their distinctive crescent shapes casting shadows on the world below. "They haven't detected us yet," said Susan from the shadow. "Their sensors aren't designed to track our propulsion technology." Alex studied the tactical display. "The neural knowledge suggests we should separate. Each ship has different abilities that work best independently." "Agreed," said Natalie. "The Retribution fleet was designed to attack from multiple vectors simultaneously." "Then let's follow the original battle plan," said Alex. "Jack, take the Guardian and position it between the Dravari and Earth. Your priority is protecting the Realm planet from further bombardment." "Understood," Jack replied. "Susan, use the Shadow's stealth capabilities to get behind their command ship. When the battle starts, target their communication systems." Susan nodded. "We'll make sure they can't. Coordinate their attacks. Natalie, keep the Harbinger back until the fighting starts, then launch your drones to create confusion in their fleet." "Ready when you are," she confirmed. "Dr. Powell, the Oracle should stay near the Vanguard. We'll need your predictive systems to guide our main attack." "The Oracle will provide tactical support," Powell agreed. "What about the Vanguard?" asked Jack. "What can this ship do?" Alex's expression turned grave. "According to the neural knowledge, the Vanguard carries the main weapon, something called a reality distortion field. I'm still trying to understand how it works, but it's our primary offensive capability." As the ships moved into position, a message came through from Earth. General Patel appeared on screen looking exhausted but relieved to see them. "Commander Winters, thank God. The Dravari have destroyed most of our orbital defenses. Ground-based weapons have no effect on their ships. Their leader is demanding our surrender in the next hour." "Tell them you need more time, General," said Alex. "We're about to engage." Just as Alex finished speaking, alarms blared across all 5 ships. "They've spotted us," reported Susan. "The Dravari fleet is breaking formation." On the tactical display, Alex watched as several enemy vessels turned away from Earth and moved to intercept them. "All ships execute battle plan," ordered Alex. "Remember your training and the knowledge from the interface. These ships were built to win this fight once before. Let's make sure they do it again." The ancient fleet separated. The Guardian positioned itself in Earth's orbit, its massive form glowing with energy as it extended shields around the planet. The Shadow vanished from sight, its stealth systems making it invisible even to the advanced Dravari sensors. The Harbinger opened its massive bay doors, releasing swarms of autonomous fighters that shot toward the enemy fleet like a cloud of metal insects. The Oracle hung back beside the Vanguard, its systems calculating thousands of possible battle outcomes per second. "The Dravari flagship is hailing us," reported Ben. "On screen," said Alex. The face that appeared was similar to Ambassador Kextol's but older, with strange markings covering its silvery skin. When it spoke, its voice was deep and resonant. "Human vessels. This is Supreme Commander Vexnar of the Dravari Consumption Fleet. You have activated weapons that were banned by the Treaty of the Third Galaxy. Power down immediately or face extinction." "There was no treaty," replied Alex, drawing on knowledge from the neural interface. "Only a defeated enemy making empty threats before retreating." The Dravari commander's expression changed to one of fury. "So you remember now. It matters not. We have spent 15,000 cycles preparing specifically for these weapons. Your ancient fleet cannot save you this time." "We'll see about that," said Alex, ending the transmission. He opened a channel to all ships. The Dravari are moving to attack. All vessels engage according to plan. The battle began with a sudden flash as 3 Dravari ships fired upon the vanguard. Before the energy beams could hit, the Oracle sent, targeting data to the Guardian, which extended a shield around the flagship, deflecting the attack. Simultaneously, Susan's shadow, completely invisible, slipped behind the Dravari command ship and fired precisely targeted weapons that disabled its main communications array. The enemy fleet's movements immediately became less coordinated. Natalie's drone fighters swarmed around the Dravari vessels, their small size making them difficult targets while they fired continuously at vital systems. The Dravari are adjusting their tactics, reported Dr. Powell from the Oracle. They're focusing fire on the Guardian. Jack can't maintain shields around Earth and us at the same time. Jack, prioritize Earth's protection, ordered Alex. We can handle ourselves. Understood, replied Jack, redirecting the Guardian's energy to cover more of the planet. Alex studied the battle, watching as the Dravari ships began to coordinate despite their communication problems. They were formidable opponents, adapting quickly to the ancient fleet's attacks. It's time to use the Vanguard's main weapon, Alex decided. All ships, clear a path to their lead destroyer. The other ships adjusted their positions, drawing Dravari. Fire away from the Vanguard as Alex targeted the enemy vessel. Reality distortion field at full power, reported Ben. Ready to fire. Target locked, said another crew member. Alex took a deep breath. Fire. A beam of energy unlike anything they had ever seen erupted from the Vanguard. It wasn't a destructive blast in the conventional sense. Instead, where it touched the Dravari ship, reality itself seemed to warp. The massive enemy vessel didn't explode. It simply ceased to exist, leaving not even debris behind. The battle paused momentarily as both sides processed what had happened. By the stars, whispered Susan over the comm. What did we just do? The weapon doesn't destroy, explained Alex, recalling the knowledge from the interface. It temporarily removes objects from our reality. The Dravari ship is elsewhere. The display showed the remaining Dravari vessels regrouping, clearly shocked by the loss of one of their largest ships. They're adjusting formation, reported Powell from the Oracle. Our predictive systems indicate they're preparing for a concentrated attack on the Vanguard. They understand now that it's the biggest threat. Alex nodded grimly. Then we need to strike first. All ships, prepare for coordinated attack pattern Delta. We're taking the fight to them. As the ancient fleet moved into new positions, Alex couldn't help but wonder if they were truly ready for this fight. The neural interface had given them knowledge, but not experience. Yet as he watched his crew work with technology 15,000 years beyond their time, he felt a surge of hope. The Dravari had come to finish what they started millennia ago. Now it was humanity's turn to show them that Earth would never be their prey. The space around Earth exploded with light and energy as the ancient human fleet engaged the Dravari ships. The Guardian projected massive shields that the Dravari weapons couldn't penetrate. The shadow moved unseen through their formation, causing chaos wherever it went. The Harbinger's drone fighters swarmed like angry bees, overwhelming the enemy point defenses. Attack pattern Delta is working, reported Dr. Powell from the Oracle. The Dravari are struggling to counter multiple threats simultaneously. Inside the Vanguard, Alex studied the tactical display. 3 Dravari ships had already been removed from reality by the main weapon, but the energy cost was enormous. The ship needed time to recharge between shots. The Dravari are adapting, warned Susan from the shadow. They're adjusting their shields to detect our stealth technology. And they're launching smaller fighters to counter our drones, added Natalie from the Harbinger. Jack's voice came through with static. The Guardian's shields are holding, but they're concentrating fire on my position. I can't maintain this level of protection much longer. Alex made a quick decision. Oracle, analyze the Dravari flagship. Find a weakness we can exploit. Working. On it, replied Powell. After a moment, there's a pattern to their shield modulation. If we time our attacks precisely, we can penetrate their defenses with a coordinated strike. Everyone hear that? Asked Alex. We need perfect timing. Oracle will count down. On 0, all ships fire on these coordinates. As the Oracle began the countdown, the Dravari seemed to sense what was coming. Their flagship suddenly broke formation and accelerated directly toward the vanguard. They're on a collision course, shouted Ben. Evasive maneuvers, ordered Alex. The vanguard turned sharply, its ancient engines responding with impossible agility. For a ship its size, the Dravari flagship adjusted its course, still aiming for them. They're sacrificing their command ship to take out the vanguard, realized Alex. They know we're the biggest threat. 5 seconds to impact, reported Ben. Alex gripped his chair. Divert all power to forward shields. The collision never came. At the last moment, Jack's Guardian appeared between the two ships, taking the full force of the impact. The ancient defensive vessel held, but the strain on its systems was visible, as energy sparked across its hull. Jack, Alex called over the comm. Status report. After a tense moment, Jack's voice came through. Still here, Commander, but the Guardian's main shield generators are offline. I've got maybe one more defensive. Stand in me. All ships focus fire on the Dravari flagship, ordered Alex. Now's our chance while their shields are down from the collision. The 5 human ships converged on the massive Dravari vessel. The shadow appeared right beside it, firing at point-blank range. The Harbinger's drones targeted its engines. The Oracle provided precise firing solutions to everyone. The Guardian, despite its damaged state, managed to project a containment field around the enemy ship, preventing its escape. The Vanguard's weapon recharged just as they got into position. Reality distortion field at full power, reported Ben. Fire, ordered Alex. The beam struck the Dravari flagship, but something was different this time. Instead of disappearing, the ship seemed to resist the effect, its hull glowing with a strange counter-energy. They've developed some kind of defense against our main weapon, said Ben in disbelief. Alex opened a channel to all ships. All weapons, continuous fire, don't let up. The combined firepower of the ancient fleet hammered the Dravari flagship. Slowly, its defenses began to fail, sections of the massive ship breaking apart under the assault. Suddenly, a transmission cut through their communications. Supreme Commander Vexnar appeared on screen, his ship visibly breaking apart around him. This is not over, humans, he snarled. We have waited 15,000 cycles. We can wait 15,000 more. There will always be more Dravari. Why? Asked Alex. Why? This obsession with Earth, with humanity? The Dravari commander's expression changed to something like grudging respect. Because you are the only species we have ever encountered who could match our capacity for both creation and destruction. This war was never about resources or territory. It was about which species would determine the future of this galaxy. The transmission cut off as the flagship's command center exploded. Moments later, the remaining Dravari vessels began to retreat, jumping away to unknown coordinates. Should we pursue? Asked Susan. Alex shook his head. No. Earth is safe for now. That's what matters. As the ancient fleet regrouped in Earth orbit, they received new information from the ground. Strange facilities had been activating all across the planet, triggered by the fleet's awakening. Bunkers buried under mountains, laboratories hidden beneath oceans, libraries sealed in desert caverns, all containing technology and knowledge from humanity's forgotten past. It's happening everywhere, said General Patel during an emergency briefing. We're finding ancient technology all over Earth. It's like our entire history is being rewritten before our eyes. Alex stood on the Vanguard's observation deck looking down at the blue planet. Susan, Jack, Natalie, and Dr. Powell joined him, all lost in thought about what they had learned and what it meant for humanity's future. What do we do now? Asked Jack. The neural database contains knowledge that could return humanity to our former glory as a galactic power, but it also shows why our ancestors chose to hide it all away. They recognize their own dangerous potential, said Natalie quietly. The power to remove things from reality itself. That's not something to be used lightly. We have a choice to make, said Alex. We can use this recovered legacy to rebuild our civilization as it was before. Or we can try to forge a new path. The Dravari will return eventually, noted Powell. We need to be ready. But we don't need to become what they fear most about us, said Susan. Maybe that's the real test here, not whether we can win the war, but how we choose to use this power. Their discussion was interrupted by a message from Earth Command. New objects had been detected entering the solar system, ships of designs they had never seen before. More Dravari? Asked Jack with concern. No, replied the officer, on screen. These are different. They're waiting at the edge of the system. They've sent a message in over 50 languages. They say they've been watching the conflict and wish to establish contact now that the Guardians of the Third Spiral have returned. Alex looked at his friends with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. It seems we've announced our presence. To more than just the Dravari, humanity is truly back on the galactic stage. As the 5 ships moved to meet these new visitors, Alex couldn't help but reflect on how much had changed in just a few days. They had discovered humanity's forgotten legacy, awakened ancient powers, and defended Earth from its oldest enemy. But the greatest challenges might still lie ahead. How would humanity use this recovered knowledge? Would they repeat the mistakes of the past or forge a new destiny among the stars? The answer would depend on the choices they made now, choices that would echo across the galaxy for millennia to come. As Earth glowed behind them, the 5 ancient warships moved forward to meet the future, carrying with them the secret legacy of humanity finally unleashed once more.